Okay, recording this video after close of trade Tuesday, 15th of March 2011, and what a night and a day. Daily chart of the Emini here, 2.6 million contracts traded. We gapped, we had vicious selling overnight, kind of almost down 40 points. The open was down 35 on yesterday's close, and then we spent the whole of the day session rallying, and we've ended up just down 15 from yesterday's close. But on better sine wave, this pullback support level has now been broken. I talked about in this video, talked about this point a couple of days ago in the video. We're so overstretched. These normally, when you have pullback and end of trend, are fairly good signals that the pullback is a good kind of continuation move. But if the move is so overstretched and getting two of these in a row, we don't always get kind of a classic pullback finishing an end of trend, and that weakness in the market could mean that we fall through this pullback level. I suppose I'm a little bit surprised this is the way it's happened. I thought we would have rallied up a little bit and then kind of fallen through, and so part of me is saying the news is so bad, the bulls kind of use this as an opportunity to get this thing down really low, jump in and get on board, and so we might have a little bit of a ways to travel. However, when you look at things like the trend line now, we're really destroyed here. This was the consolidation zone, and a couple of days ago we closed back into the consolidation zone, and I was saying, well, that was a great opportunity for us to kind of test the other side of the consolidation zone and maybe kind of get going and have a little rally past this down trend line. Of course, the next day we ended up with this kind of doji pattern sitting underneath here and just fell away overnight, Monday night. So this is, we've kind of kissed this and said goodbye at this trend line here on the way down, and we could rally back a little bit of a ways, but this is just extremely weak. Same thing, better X trend. Not shown this. I mean, this has been pretty good over the last few months, kind of keeping us in this uptrend. Yeah, we had this kind of final piece of backwards and forwards activity, broke through it. And made this kind of down trend signal here. You can see this really is a classic little kind of test of this. I call this kind of coming up underneath the lip here, with this red buying bar kind of coming up, testing the lip, and then we kind of fall away. This one's a classic as well. So we're in a downtrend when it comes to better X trend. So all of these things are saying that this hypothesis that we kind of keep rallying and move to new highs is, for me, becoming suspect, because we violated so many of these kind of trend line type activities and support levels. So the support level on better sine wave, we're underneath the down trend line. On the trend line better X trend, we're underneath here. I mean, that's not to say that we can't kind of rally in the meantime, but that could be just weak rallies into kind of more selling going on. Certainly think a couple of days ago about the currencies. Currencies still acting fairly strong, as if the risk trade is still on. The euro ended pretty strong today. Aussie was weak, but the Aussie is directly impacted by Japan, so that's kind of why that's kind of taken a tumble. But the euro is fairly strong, and the dollar index is very weak. It's kind of at the lows, so could easily kind of fall through. If we get some positive news out of Japan on this nuclear meltdown, that things are actually been fixed, and it's just a question of shutting the reactors down, and there's no kind of damage done, we could have quite a strong rally back up. So I think this is where the long-term picture is still a little bit cloudy. I still think there's potential up move. I mean, I made good money by taking long trades today because we'd sold off so viciously, but let me keep going. A couple of other things. This is the average trade size chart, and these last kind of two spikes that we had in average trade size. Looking back at this kind of retrospectively, this is professionals taking profits up here at 13.25. So I mean, very smart kind of moves there, and we've not seen the same similar kind of average trade size kind of coming in at the lows. This little spike here was at the close of yesterday. So that's we'd like to ideally see kind of the flip side of that, kind of large average trade sizes coming at the lows to signal where this might end. And then yesterday's video kind of that I finished about an hour before the close, 40,500 tip bar chart had shown this end of trend warning signal, and the selling had been fairly weak, but towards the end of the day, these last couple of bars on the 40,000 were professional selling bars. We've seen this the last few closes in a row, and then we get a similar position here. So we kind of fell off pretty hard, Rambo patterns kind of overnight, and we've spent the whole day rallying. We've rallied back to this cyclical support level that becomes resistance here. We've got a cyclical turn, and then we've got all this professional blue activity, blue bars at the end of the day. There's a lot of blue professional bars here, so we're back up at 1280 with maybe professionals taking profits, and this thing might we could have easily just kissed this level goodbye and kind of roll over again. So really in two minds about how this might kind of play out. This was the there we go. So that's kind of yesterday's 4,500 tip bar chart, where we'd broken into an uptrend here, and we'd had all these blue professional bars at the end of the day. But my analysis, we're kind of over this level in a cyclical, so we've broken into an uptrend when we've kind of broken above this cyclical resistance level. So we need to see ideally a pullback and end of trend before this is all over. Although the buying activity didn't signal exhaustion's buying at this side, but if you look at the levels that we were at here, they were definitely exhaustion type levels up here. It's just the way the indicator is constructed, and that wasn't actually larger than this kind of selling volume on the downside. So that was exhaustion buying, and professionals kind of came in and then just gave way overnight. But the rally was held, end of trend, second cyclical turn after an end of trend warning signal here. And during the day we had these great little kind of pullbacks where we had exhaustion selling on the downside and so on. But at the end of today, we've had extreme selling into the close, possibly these professionals getting out at 1280. So there we go. I'm kind of in a little bit two minds. I think we've kind of run pretty hard today and could come off a little bit tomorrow morning. But let's see where this goes. If we get any positive news out of Japan, we'll kind of jump back and could easily kind of jump back above this kind of cyclical support area here and actually play out to the upside here. So I'm still, I suppose, still a little bit bullish over the last couple of days when we've had these big down moves. The retracements, I've made kind of good money on my long trades, so don't know. Anyway, I'll tag on my my day trades. One was this little long trade into these kind of new highs, a couple of kind of nothing trades, a long trade that didn't work out, exit and reverse short, made a little bit back on that reverse short. But then this was a good kind of long trade here after exhaustion selling and so on. I was long at 61.25. Happy to get out at my profit target of 65.25, but of course the move had a lot longer to go than that. But I was out for the day with 7.5 points, so I was very happy. Anyway, so I hope your trading's going well. Just going to tag on the last day trade I took, this one kind of long at 61.25 for 4, rather than putting all of the day trades on. That'll make the video too long, so that'll be the one that you see just after this recording. So again, good luck with your trading tomorrow. Just got long 61.25. And I'm just looking at this, wondering if I've done the wrong thing. Two Rambo patterns kind of breaking out to 62. What I think is going on here, this little test down, this couple of amateur down bars kind of testing back down into 59. Then we broke above the pullback level here. And here we go. We've had our exhaustion selling, professionals kind of come back in at this point. I was out way too early. I was just out around here at 61, and the move kept on going to a perfect little pro signal exit with professionals kind of coming in with exhaustion selling. So and we've got cyclical support coming on the 4500 tick bar chart and all these professionals. So on the 500 tick bar chart, whole move down, we had professional bars kind of coming down. They only signaled one on the 1500 tick bar chart, but this level at 59 is kind of critical. So looking for a break back to test the highs. Just wondering, we're kind of losing a little bit of steam. This wasn't good. This kind of next push down, possibly where we get a cyclical low here. I'm just in too early. Anyway, so long at 61.25. Just a couple of minutes later, and it's starting to go our way now, but this retrace was pretty violent. About 2.5 points of heat on the trade. But you know, this kind of bars down here just looked like they were kind of just spiking down, kind of thinking, you know, forcing traders to think they've kind of made a mistake, and it did end up causing us a bullish divergence pattern here. So this little blue bar, I think, might be kind of jumping the creek a little bit. Bit of momentum is really kind of close to the zero line, with all these signals kind of going off around here, so it shows we're in kind of a lot of balance, and we're coming out to a cyclical turn on 15, but you know, this exhaustion selling at this point was really steep. So I mean, this is kind of preconditions for a change in trend, with blue professional bar, exhaustion selling, and cyclical support. So you know, targets at 65.25, which was the previous high up here. So you might get lucky. This might kind of break into a strong uptrend. So it says down blue professional bar at that point, and another one. Okay, now if these get taken out to the highs like they are, bang, we'll run. So that's quite good. Okay, just a couple of minutes later, and now we've got cyclical resistance on both the 500 and 1500 tip bar charts here. But this last little pullback was professionals kind of stepping in. So breaking above these levels, potentially we could move into a strong uptrend that'll kind of run for quite a ways. The last time I recorded a video saying that ended up being a hot top, and we kind of reversed and went the other way. So just wary of doing that, but just we're kind of finding no demand, stopping pattern and pulling back a little bit here. Anyway, so still holding long 61.25 and hoping to be taken out 65.25. Okay, a little bit of a pullback almost to the entry point here, but this one kind of got amateur down bars, Rambo pattern down here, cyclical support and bullish divergence. So in this little move down here, the amateurs were thinking we're kind of going short. You can see it on the 1500 tip bar chart here, so we start to move to the upside. Now we've had amateur up bar up here, so on the 15, and that's not kind of great. So we're kind of caught in this kind of amateur zone here. Still think we're going to break to the upside, so there we go. There's another kind of amateur bar. Outside bar like that, you can't tell what's going on. You know, is it the amateurs at the high or the low? But just means that we're in this little zone where the amateurs are kind of active, which I don't particularly like. So I'm still hoping to break out to the upside above this level on the 1500 tip bar chart. But you know, we're really close to the zero line on better momentum, just showing we're in kind of equilibrium in the markets, trying to figure out which way to break. My bias, as I said, is to the upside, and that's what I'm hoping for. Bingo, there we go. Taking out 65.25 on the profit target for 4. Must admit, when we had this Rambo pattern kind of come up on the 1500 tip bar chart, didn't particularly like that. But, you know, we're above cyclical resistance and broken into an uptrend, and now all the blue professional bars have come in up at 66. So there's been another point or even more. Yeah, no blue professional bars on 1500 yet. But you know, happy to be out. So I was taking about 2.5 points of heat on that trade and sitting through a little bit of garbage. Poor entry, but you know, still works out. So that's nice. Okay, a few minutes later, and this rally kept on going, and we reached 12.69. Extraordinary, but I was out at 65.25 before we saw any blue professional bars, and the first one that we saw after I'd exited was actually on this retrace down here. So as soon as, you know, the highs of that's kind of taken out, kept on going. That's actually a sign of strength, you know, with kind of a retrace and professionals stepping in. And then really at the highs, the first place that we see professional bars is up here at this point here, then followed by a Rambo pattern, amateurs right at the highs. So that's a weak kind of combination up at 69 that will probably lead to something. But just bear in mind the sell-off that we had on the 1500 tip bar chart here. These readings were pretty extreme on better momentum, so you know, it's unlikely we're going to get that kind of pattern yet. So no kind of pro signal at this point. So sometimes just got to be careful with kind of exiting on professional bars, waiting for that exhaustion selling. if if we had an extreme reading kind of down here.